website, the16types.info. I'm here today to discuss with you retyping myself as SEI. I've got my handy-dandy notes here that you can't see. Again, I should really just stop trying to show them to you. But anyway, first call to order. Introverts use their creative function to create something within themselves worthy of including in the process of interaction. Maybe with less extraneous grammar, or words, or stuff like that. And it's sort of like, with the instance with Jake at the moment, when everyone's going in a huge, massive attack of fighting and attacking us, it's like, I try to use my feet to try and diffuse it, but everyone just ignores that, and that's sort of like saying, no, screw you, you're not allowed to participate. That hurts, man. It's like, yeah, like my hand's on my heart, right there, to display just the degree of hurting caused by snubbing my precious creative function. Right, and frankly, I'm just way too sort of inward turning to be any sort of an extrovert at all. And like, the thing that I've been talking with Brill about, you know, the sort of the way that TI is more of a thinking style. That's actually, and this might be a extroverted intuition based deduction actually. That's actually sort of like, well, you know how sensors have a thinking style that's deductive? Bam, deductive thinking style. Rules to facts, as opposed to facts to rules. Nah, see? Okay, and beyond that, you know, I'm simply not a constructivist. That's one of the big black marks against ILE. Like, okay, and if you say that subtypes dilute the Renan dichotomies and their expression in people, Occam's razor. Occam's razor. I'm gonna use classical socionics to analyze myself first, and then use Renan dichotomies to explain later. Occam's razor. I'm gonna keep saying that, by the way. If you don't know... Sorry, just needed to bring the finger up to impress the point. If you don't know what that is, Wikipedia it. If you don't know what something I say means, Google define and Wikipedia are your friends. And they're my friends. And my friends are your friends, and your friends are my friends. And, you know, I'm not a 7. I'm a 4-wing 3. But that's also subordinate to being a 9-wing 1. I'm chilled. Like, okay, I'm whizzing around being completely crazy, but that's because of Phi Creative, man. And if we look at the fact that the id functions are subordinate to, the id functions are subordinate to the ego functions, yes, Fi is subordinate to Fe for me. That's it. That's, like, I hate it when people fight, but, like, that's an Fi judgment, but, like, to stop people from fighting, it's like everyone needs to be happy and, like, energized, you know, like power thirst. It's like, energy! That's like a bottle of power thirst there. And, yeah, that's Fi being subordinate to Phi, so it's like creative and demonstrative. Yeah. So, and, like, Labcoat will probably kill me for saying this, because he's the expert and everything, but SEIs are negativist and process. So it's like more deductive thinking. Dialectical. I'll have a look at it and try to figure out the machine translationese, which I'm horrible at reading, by the way. And like, okay, let's say that instead of TI creative, I've got TI mobilizing, right? That's why Brill's awesome, because it's like, okay, here's this, like, TE, and I'm like, cool, awesome, that's, like, cool, I'm, like, doing it on my own, sort of, and you're, like, catalyzing it and stuff. That's, no offense or anything, but this whole Model X notion of it's strong, but it needs to be engaged, no. To quote Arendt. No. And, yeah, ILE with strong ethics. What were you guys thinking? What was I thinking? I was agreeing with you. God. And I've basically just sort of moved at random through this list. But, yeah. So I've covered Fee Creative. I'm not a 7. I'm a motivist. Oh yeah, and psi-driven behavior. I like colors. I feel emotions from random things. Like, you look at a cloud, and it's like, the majesty, man. Like, my eyes are wide with like, remembering that stuff, man. And, like, okay, Rick's blog, The Socionist, right? There's a comment that our memory is strongest when we were processing information with one of our strong functions. Yeah, SI. I've got a good visual memory. I've got a good memory of emotions. Like, my flashbacks are, like, filled with emotion and stuff. Like, you can argue that that's need-driven behavior. And maybe it is, but it's more sort of a vital expression, not mental expression. It's not something I can harness. It's just, like, the way my mind works. Which could also be applied to psi, but I think psi is a little more conscious. I think. But, to me, I feel that is. And even if that's the weak link in the argument, then I feel quite resolute that I've made several other good points. And yeah, that was over 7 minutes, my list of 5 points. I didn't do so well on my English exam. Yeah, I was gonna look... That's right! Damn, I forgot my joke. I was gonna look up on Wikipedia who the lead singer from Coldplay is, and be like, to introduce my video, doing that, and then I'd find it. I'm just searching Coldplay now. Cool. I love Wikipedia, by the way. And be like, in the words of... Damn it. In the words of Chris Martin, the 16 types, let's talk. There we go. That was my joke. And I had another point that I was going to make, but I forgot about it, because I was concentrating too hard and trying to find out who the vocalist was from Coldplay. And I'm also listening to talk right now. Which is why I'm talking, I guess. Anyway, that was a very pointless minute that just elapsed. I'd like to discuss this typing with you, the 16 types,